I've been dealing with this stuff like every day. Patiently waiting on him to change. Yeah. Got me so stressed out, trying to hide the gray. Yeah. No, not today. So I packed my suitcase, went out for a drive, and I'm so very sure this is my last goodbye. A faithful love is someone who is true, but a playful love is what I'm going through. So I gotta put you on the left hand side. I gotta move you on the left hand side. You can do what you do on the left hand side. And I'ma do my thing too on the left hand side. You even had his mama telling lies for him. Started showing out right in front of his friends. The emails calling and hanging up. Is that the way you treat somebody you love? I'ma pick my heart up off the floor. No turning back, I'm out the door. I left the house key and the bingo to the garage. Don't want nothing that reminds me of you at all. A faithful love is someone who is true, but a playful love is what I'm going through. So I gotta put you.
What's up, guys? What's going on? What's shaking out there? What's shaking out there in podcast land? Got some new stuff going on, guys. I just put up an episode, really. Today is... What is today? Today? What is today? Today is June 28th, I believe. Sunday? Yeah. I just put up an episode a few minutes ago. It was a testing episode that I did with Mrs. Tess Altman. I'm zooming in here on this camera over here. And we just tested all the things, man. All the different angles, all the different things that I was doing, all the different... I got lights. I got 4 different camera angles going on over here. Oh, man, so many things. I don't even know. I don't even know where to go from here, really. I really don't even know what I'm doing. That song up front there, that was Latasha Lee and the Black Ties. A little song called The Left Hand Side. What angle we got here? I don't even know what angles we're doing, but this is the new iPad over here. Looks pretty good. I like it. It's doing really well. I'm having a good time with it so far. We did a test episode last night, or a couple nights ago. No, was it last night? Fuck. It was last night. What day was that? It was Saturday. So we put it up. I did a video chat episode where I was able to pull up on the Mac over here, which is, let's see, this guy right here. I was able to pull up on the Mac, and I can pull up Switcher Studio over here and do a video chat. So I can pull with the account that I have right now. I've just got the basic account, but I can pull up at least one remote guest over here. So hopefully in the near future, I'm going to be pulling up maybe one of my sons, and maybe, I don't know, Slayton Johnson has been talking about wanting to get on the podcast. I'd like to get him across the table here in the seat and actually have him in the studio, but we'll see what happens with that. Hell, who knows? Maybe I go up to, where the hell is he? Cosby? Not Bill Cosby. I think he's up in... Is it called Crosby? What the fuck is the name of the town that he lives in? It's either Crosby or Cosby. I don't think it's Cosby. I think it's Crosby, Tennessee. So he's up there. He's still doing some river rafting. He just hooked up with a new company, I think. I don't know what the name of the company is, but he just hooked up with it. Man, I can't believe I actually have my headphones plugged in today, actually. It sounds really good. Matter of fact, if you don't notice, guys, I've got I've got some new headphones going on here. They are, they match, God damn it, they match, God, why can't I ever get it? They match what are these things called? The microphones. They match the microphones that I have. So Audio Technica is the condenser mics that I have. So these are headphones that kind of match those guys. They actually go all the way over my ears this time, where the other ones, the white ones, I wanted white to kind of stand out. That was the reason I got the white ones. But you know, they were cheap. I got the two white ones for, I don't know what I got them for, $12 a fucking piece or some bullshit. And they worked fantastic, and they're still going to work fantastic. That'll be the ones that I use for the guests, unless the guest brings their own headphones. But for some reason, the episode before last, not the mic test or the video chat test that I just did, but the episode before that, I had, at least in the headphones that I was wearing on my side, I had some kind of feedback going on, some kind of noise, and I thought it was something to do with the mic or something to do with the connection. But I believe at this point that it was actually my headphones had blown a speaker on the left-hand side. Oh, that's fucking funny as shit. I just now thought of that. That's the name of the song that I just played for you, The Left-Hand Side by Latasha Lee and the Black Ties. But I think the left side of the headphones went out. I was getting some feedback on that side. I think the woofer blew on that side. So I was having issues with that. So you know what I said? I said, fuck it. I'm going to get some new headphones. I'm going to get some actual headphones, because those headphones went just kind of on the ear. And I had a couple guests that complained about that they did not like those headphones, that they kind of made their ears hurt after a certain amount of time. And I agree with them. They were kind of pressure on the ear itself. These actually go over the ear and encapsulate the entire ear. And man, I tell you what, you know, I used to hear all kind of noise and stuff outside of these headphones, but I don't think I can hear anything right now. I don't think they're actually noise canceling headphones, but they actually encapsulate the ears and give me a nice, good sound. Actually, I need to turn these headphones up just a tad bit so I can hear a little bit more in my headphone. There you go. Oh, that's beautiful. Beautiful. So, yeah, so I've got, my board over here, my new board from Pile. So what do we got here, guys? Let's take a look at this while we're in this screen here. So I've got my new iPad over here. That's my controller for all my switching. So I can switch all my angles over here. I can add stuff. As a matter of fact, I need to put a couple things on the screen here that I don't even have up there yet. So I need to put the Craft Conversation logo up there. This is where you can find me. You can find me on all the platforms: Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter. Actually, I'm not back up on Twitter yet, but I'm gonna get logged back into there and start maybe doing some tweets, some tweeting, some tweeties, whatever you call them. I've also got the Surface Pro still here, so this is what I'm going to use to look up stuff and do things. This may come into play a little bit more for some different things, but right now I cannot get this Surface Pro to become another camera, another monitor, another switch. So the Surface is just going to be basically what I look up stuff on. Eventually, once I go live, I will do all my. I will be able to look at Facebook on the Surface Pro while I'm doing the live stuff. Then I also have the Mac over here, which I'm using as another monitor. As a matter of fact, we'll pull that guy up. So I'm using this guy as a monitor. So I'm looking right into the camera right here. So it's another monitor. So right now, what do I have going on? Well, I've got one camera going on over here, which is my iPhone XS Max. Yeah. I've got the MacBook Pro right here in front of me, so I'm using that as one of the cameras. The camera right here in front of me, which is this camera right here, this is the iPhone XS Max. The other phone that I pointed to over here is actually a 6S, iPhone 6S. They're both recording in 1080 at 25 frames per second right now. I switched it to kind of save on some of the storage. I had it at 60 frames per second, but I've switched it to 25 frames per second. So it'll take up less storage for different things when I'm doing different things. And then I've also got the iPad 5th generation right here that I'm using as my controller. It's doing all the switching. It's doing all the stuff, all the fun things. So that's what it is. By the way, you're watching Craft Conversations. If you didn't know, this is Craft Conversations, where I craft a conversation with influential, interesting, and fun guests from around town, or just with myself, and I have a conversation. And sometimes we'll drink a beer, which, as a matter of fact, we're going to open up one of those beers right now. If you notice, I have my book displayed up here, so take a look at that. Man, I should have made a little thing for it on the screen so I could pull it up. But this is my book that I wrote back in. I started writing it back in 2005, 2006 ish. I think I put it out in. Let's see. I came back from Iraq. I finished writing it. I think in 2007 I put out the first edition of that. And this is on the 3rd or 4th edition, I think, this copy that I have here. I'll share a pour with you. Pouring a beer here. This is, so the book here, this is, it's all fun and games until. You can find it on lulu.com. That's LULU.com. Type in, it's all fun and games until. Or you could just type in Brian Dales and you'll find this book. You'll also find a book by my son that he wrote, children's book. So you can find 2 different things out there from me. Now we'll zoom in and get off of that. But so yeah, if you want to check it out, if you want to see kind of some things that I've written and learn a little bit more about my early life in the military and marriage, those type things, yeah, go out and look at that book. What are we drinking tonight, guys? Well, we're drinking, let's pull this up. We're drinking, we'll go to this screen here. We're drinking, God, I just cannot figure out how to fucking do this shit. So we're drinking, God damn it. We're drinking Beach Bully by, who's this by? I don't even know. Southern Barrel Brewing Company. So that's what we're drinking right now. Let's pull it up and see what that thing's all about. Oh, you know what? We were going to... Hold on. Before we hook that up... Is it working? No, it is not working. Hold on. Stand by. Oh, why am I not hearing any fucking music? You know why? Because I turned the goddamn volume down. All right, here we go.
Chill by Sakura HC.
All right. So what I wanted to start doing, I premiered this on a couple episodes ago, that I wanted to start doing some music while I talk about the beer.
Take you there.
Oh, that is not good at all. Hold on just a second. We're going to get something else going on because that really sucks. Let's click on this. All right, there we go. This sounds good. What happened? Oh, there we go. So, yeah, Southern Barrel Brewing Company. It's in Bluffton, South Carolina. The first production microbrewery in Bluffton, South Carolina. Large tap room with up to 12 beers on tap, 6-packs and growlers to go every day. And food specials every day. And the beer that we are drinking is called Beach Bully Pale Ale. It's by Southern Barrel. It's 5.5% ABV. It's 45 IBUs. Got an average rating of 3.73. Oh, wait. I turned that down too low. Easy drinking, hop-forward pale ale with citrus, melon, and stone fruit flavor and aromatics from El Dorado and Citra hops. It's a gold medal winner for American Pale Ales in the 2019 South Carolina Brewers Guild competition. It says that I've drank this one time. Let's take a look and see. I had this at Lowe's Foods at one point. 15th of November 2019, actually. So it's quite a while ago. They had it up there at Lowe's Foods. I don't even remember having that, so I'm drinking it again. Cheers, guys. Cheers to you. I'm Brian Dales, by the way. I'm your host, Craft Conversations. Been doing this for a couple years now, and I'm having a good time with it. I'm doing some new stuff. I got some new things going on. The iPad switcher has been a game changer, and I hope you're enjoying the podcast. Well, what are we going to do today, guys? Well, we're going to talk about, it's kind of a follow-up show of sorts. See, I got the whole thing going on here. So I got the logo still up here. I got all the stuff here now, man. It's so cool that I got everything going on. I'm discombobulated because I just have so many things going on. I've got all the lighting. I've got this fancy light going on over here. Hopefully the lighting is perfect and you're seeing some really good shots of my face and everything is just really crystal clear and looking good. Excuse me. What was I going to see earlier? It's on this one, I think. So if I zoom back out, I don't know if I zoom back in. It's too far. I know this is boring as hell, guys, but you can see my other light back over here. In this shot, you can see it in the mirror there. You can see I've got my other light up here on my ale pail. This is one of my brewing pails that I used to brew beer when I used to brew beer. I don't brew anymore. I'm getting ready to get rid of all that stuff along with everything else in this fucking house to do, to move and to get into an RV. But that's my pail that I used to brew, and it's got a little spigot on there. I can drain that out, put it into my secondary fermenter. So that's my other light. My other light is over here. Over here, you can see that guy there. So I got both of those lights illuminating here. I've got everything else on. I got a light over here. I got a ceiling light. I've got a light here behind me. Oh, this is boring as fuck. I know, guys. Jesus Christ. I'm really not even happy with this episode so far. I really hate it to be. I really hate this episode so far. It's not good at all. I'm just fucking rambling. I just got a text from somebody says, what am I doing? Well, I'm doing an episode, guys. So what was I going to do tonight? You can probably see that right here. Here's my notes. This is my notes. These are my notes that I wrote up to talk about what has been going on with the testing fiasco that I've had going on. You know, and I've talked to some people, you know, I've put this out online and I said that, you know, testing is horrible, and a lot of people said, what's wrong? Why can't you get tested? I've got tested, my kids got tested, or I did this and I did that. And I said, well, good for you. But my experience has not been as nice as your experience. So everybody's experience is different, and I think that's the gist of what I'm talking about, is the testing is not the same for everybody. It depends on, you know, what kind of insurance you have. It depends on your location. It depends on your accessibility. It depends on what you tell the people when you request a test. I mean, there's a whole bunch of variables that go on as to whether or not you get a test. And I haven't figured it all out yet, but here is my experience. So if you listen to the last episode, I kind of did a rundown all the way up until I actually got the test this past Wednesday. And then I think I stopped at that particular instance. When did I do that show? I did that show on Monday, so I hadn't got the test yet, I don't think. Jesus, I can't remember. I should have gone back and listened to that episode before I started this one, but basically, I did some COVID-19 testing, guys. Last Saturday, so it's been, what is today? Sunday that I'm recording this. So a week and 1 day ago, I decided that I was having some symptoms and I felt like I needed a test. And I felt like I just wasn't feeling well. And I felt like, man, the symptoms, when I look it up online, when I Google the symptoms for COVID or coronavirus or whatever you want to call it, when I Googled it, I decided that maybe I had the symptoms of the coronavirus and that I should get tested. So I asked a friend of mine, and we're just going to recap real quick. We'll do a small recap, maybe not as big as the last episode that I did about this thing. But so I asked a friend of mine, Tess. I said, hey, I remember you mentioned an online assessment that you could do. So I did that online assessment. I went to MUSC. I did the online assessment. It was free. So you go through and answer all these questions. When I answered the questions, it sent me an email, and I went to the link, and it pulls up my record of the visit, the virtual visit that I did. And it said, hey, we think you have coronavirus. You might want to get tested, or you need to get tested. We're going to schedule you a test. So they said that they would, I needed to sign up for what they call a My Chart account within USC. And then I also got a text that said that they would get in touch with me within 24 to 48 hours to schedule me a test. So I waited. This was on Saturday about 1 p.m. I waited. They closed at 2 p.m. that day, and they were also closed on Sunday, according to their website. The location that I needed to go to get a test. So I've kind of figured that, hey, I'm not going to get a test until probably Monday. So I wake up Monday morning, or Monday, it was still morning, I guess. It was 10 a.m. or whatever. I log back onto that same site to kind of look at the rules and look at the things again to see what I needed to do, who I need to contact if I hadn't heard from anybody yet. So when I pulled that site back up, it said that, what did it say? It said that the naming, the wording had changed on there. It said, oh, well, we think that you just have an upper respiratory infection or a common cold. So I'm thinking to myself, wait a minute. So on Saturday, the symptoms that I described in the virtual visit that I had done, they said that I had possibly had COVID and that I needed a test. When I logged back in on Monday, they said that it had changed and said, well, we think you just have a common cold. So I don't know if they looked at it again and just reassessed it, or if it just changed automatically on its own. I don't know what the whole parameters were on it, but so I said, well, fuck, that's dumb. So it's now been 48 hours. Actually, went into the next day into Tuesday, so it had now been 72 hours, and I hadn't heard back from anybody to schedule a test. So I said, well, since they changed my diagnosis to a common cold, I'm probably not going to get a contact for a test. And they had actually put in a couple, 3 prescriptions for some different stuff to treat, common cold symptoms, the cough and congestion and those type things. So I go and I said, well, fuck, you're a veteran, Brian. Why didn't you just call the VA and get a test from the VA? So I called the VA. This was on that Tuesday when I hadn't heard back from anybody after 72 hours from MUSC. I said, well, let me call the VA and see what they say. So I called the VA, got in touch with somebody at the answering system, whatever, got in touch with them and told them what was going on. They said, well, we're going to have a nurse call you back. So they said a nurse would call me back within 10 minutes. And of course, 2 hours and 40 minutes later, I finally get a phone call, which is fine. I got a phone call back from them. That was a good thing. So I got the phone call back from the nurse, and the nurse asked me all these questions. I explained to her what I did with MUSC already. The nurse says, yeah, I mean, based on what you're describing to me, we also think that you need a COVID-19 test. So what we're going to do is we use the same testing center that MUSC uses. So we are going to schedule for that test. So if MUSC schedule you first, then, of course, use that date. If we call you back with a testing date, then use that date. So basically, whoever calls you back first, that's what's going to happen. So I did not hear back from them. Actually, I was on the phone with MUSC when the nurse called me back from the VA. So after all that happened, I said, okay, well, now I'm waiting for MUSC to get back with me. Now I'm waiting for the VA to get back with me. There is, just, I'm waiting for these two guys. So I said, well, you know what? I've got another option. I'm a retired Air Force member. I have TRICARE Prime. I can actually get care of the base. I can get care of the VA because of my disability. I can get care anywhere I fucking want, really. So I said, well, let's try one more avenue while we're waiting on these guys to get their heads out of their ass and schedule me a test. Let's contact my base provider. So I contacted them through a thing called Relay Health, which is an online kind of messaging center or whatever. And I texted them, messaged them, emailed them, whatever you want to call it, and said, look, I did this with MUSC. I've contacted the VA, but I'm just trying to figure out how I can get a damn test. It's already been 72 hours plus, and I still have not received a test since I started having symptoms. So I'd like to try and get this thing taken care of so I can get on with my life, whether I have it or not, and just figure out what I'm doing. So I messaged them and said, where can I get a test? And within probably 10, 15 minutes, I got an email back from those guys through Relay Health, and they said, well, you can go to doctor's care or you can go to urgent care, and you don't need a referral, you don't need an appointment, you can just walk right in and get a test. So I said, okay, well, let's find out, let's see what I got going on here. So I looked, I went around the corner from my house here, and they have an express care, which is through Roper St. Francis. So I drive over there on Wednesday. So it's now been, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. So now it's been 4 days, right? 72, 92. So it's now been 96 hours or whatever, right? So I go over there to Express Care. I got my mask on. I walk up to the front door. I've got my MUSC thing pulled up that says, look, these guys have told me that I need a test. And so I came over here and, I talked to the VA. The VA confirmed and said, yes, you need a test. And then I got in touch with my base doctor, and they said, yes, you should get a test. And they said I could go to urgent care or doctor's care and urgent care. Well, this is express care, so I guess it's fucking different. So the lady says, well, I appreciate all that, but you're going to have to do a virtual visit and get a referral before you can do your test over here. And I'm like, what are we talking about? I just showed you that MUSC said I needed a test. I just told you that my VA nurse said that I needed a test. I just told you that the base said that I needed a test. So now I have to do another virtual visit. And they're like, yeah, well, if you want to be seen here. And I'm like, this is fucking bullshit. And she's like, well, don't get mad at me. And I'm saying, I'm not mad at you. I'm mad at the system because I've been trying to get this done since Saturday, and it's 96 hours later, and I'm still getting a runaround. I just want a goddamn test. I want to see if I'm positive. 4 days have gone by now. Who knows? I could be getting worse. I could be getting some kind of, who knows what could be going on. I could be close to dying. I could be having some lung problems. I could have pneumonia. I could have passed it on to my roommate already, my dog, whatever. And nobody has given me any information. Nobody is testing me. Oh, man. So she says, well, I'm sorry. I don't know what to tell you. You're going to have to do a virtual visit. I said, well, can I do it right here? Can I go to my car and just do it and sit here and get seen? She says, yes. You can go on there. You can do the virtual visit. You can go on. Here's the sheet. She gave me a piece of paper. Go on here, log on. You have to download the app, all this stuff. So I download the app. I sit in my car. Had to wait to download the app. Once the app downloaded, I had to go on and had to create an account. Once I created an account, I started the virtual visit, answered a couple questions, and it said, okay, we're going to connect you with a provider, and we're going to do a telephone or a virtual video assessment of you. So I said, okay, all right, cool. So we're going to do that. My phone is over here. Actually, this phone right here is the one that has my information on it. I took some screenshots. I don't think I have it on my paper here. Express Care. So I started the virtual visit at 10:25. And I finally got to see the provider. We did a virtual visit, through video chat, and finally ended that visit at 11:06. So from 10:25 to 11:06, so what's that, 36 minutes that it took to get a virtual visit, talk to the nurse or the family practitioner. And I finally had a test done after what was that, 72, 96... I don't know. I can't do the math. But Wednesday, I started this whole thing on Saturday at 1 o'clock. Wednesday at 11:25 a.m., I finally got a test done. One of the technicians came out to my car. They gave me a swab. Looks just like a Q-tip, double-sided Q-tip. Had me swirl it around one nostril 3 or 4 times. Swirl around the other nostril 3 or 4 times. And then put it down into this test tube with some liquid in it. She capped it up, said, okay, somebody will contact you back. So it'll be, somebody will contact you and say whether you're positive or negative. That was on Wednesday, the 24th of June. That visit cost me $59. So the visit that I did on MUSC cost me $0. The visit that I did with Roper St. Francis cost me $59. So I'm $59 in the hole right now, and I'm Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I'm 4 days in already. Still haven't heard back from the VA at this point. The VA has not contacted me back and said that we're going to schedule you. I'd actually contacted the MUSC prior to this test and had scheduled a test for Friday. They didn't have a test available until Friday. I contacted them on Tuesday, got a testing date for Friday. So I said, fuck that. And that's when I went to Express Care and contacted the base and got all this kind of stuff. So I got my test done on Wednesday. They said, hopefully you'll hear something back within 2 to 3 days, 48 to 72 hours. So yesterday rolls around, which was Saturday, and I still hadn't heard anything. I still have not heard back from the VA. They have not contacted me to even schedule a test. So I called Roper St. Francis yesterday on Saturday, and I said, hey, I'm just trying to follow up, man. I got a test done on Wednesday. They told me it would take 2 days or so. I'm trying to follow up and see if my test results are in. They said, no test results are back for you yet. And I said, well, they told me, a couple days, and they said, well, we were telling people, 24 to 48 hours, but that was before we had this huge spike in the low country in Charleston and all these other places. So the lab that we use has gotten backed up. So we're now telling people that it might take up to 7 days. That's okay. That's understandable. We've had a lot of new cases here in the low country. So I appreciate that. Thank you for the info. I will look forward to your call. So today, which is Sunday, the 20, what the fuck is today? The 20, I don't even know what day it is. 28th, I think. 26, 27, 28. I think it's June 28th. I get a phone call at about 11 o'clock today from Roper St. Francis, and I have a negative test. So good news, guys, really. Good news that it's negative. I mean, if I'm being honest, I would have liked to maybe have been positive. That way, maybe I've got the antibodies and I've got immunity to this thing. The symptoms that I was having, and I still have a couple things. I still have a headache. I still have an earache. I still have some sore throat here and there. I feel like I've got a little chest congestion and things going on. But I guess I just have the common cold. I who knows? But there are some false negatives going on out there. Who the hell knows? So my next step is I want to try and get an antibody test and just see if maybe I've had this thing in the past. And I've got the antibodies for it. I was supposed to get a phlebotomy tomorrow. As a matter of fact, this past Friday, I was supposed to get my blood work for the phlebotomy. And then I was supposed to get my phlebotomy tomorrow. But since I didn't get, I canceled the test. I canceled the blood work on Friday because I was supposed to be quarantined. And I said, well, I'm quarantined. I might be contagious. I don't want to go to the VA clinic and infect anybody else or be around anybody else. I'm supposed to quarantine. I'm not supposed to do that. So I canceled that test. or the blood work. So in canceling the blood work, I cannot go get my phlebotomy because they don't have my hematocrit numbers to get the phlebotomy. So I had to end up canceling my phlebotomy for tomorrow. I'm going to call them first thing in the morning because they're not open on the weekends. They're at the VA downtown. I'm going to call them in the morning and say, look, this is why I canceled. What's the next available time I can get my blood work done and get back in there? So what I'm hoping to do is when they do the phlebotomy, hopefully they can draw a test tube and do an antibody test at the same time that they do my phlebotomy. So that's my next step, is to see if maybe I've had this thing already and if I'm immune to it, or if I have the antibodies or whatever. I don't know, nobody knows what the fuck is going on with this thing. So do I have immunity? If you have the antibodies, that means you can't get it. Am I safe? Can I go out and just do whatever the fuck I want to do? Am I still contagious? Can I still transmit it but not get it? I mean, there's so many unanswered questions with this thing that I really don't know. I really don't know what's going on. But the bottom line is, that's a fucking long-ass story to go around. The bottom line is, I don't know. Did I have it? Have I had it? Why was I being sick? Was it a false negative? So many things. I mean, this virus, you just don't know. You have no clue what's going on. Really. It's just a new thing that people are still trying to figure out. We're still trying to figure out what is going on as far as testing, and what is going on as far as who can get it, who's immune to it, what the symptoms are, the death mortality rate. So many unanswered questions, really. But again, that song up front was Latasha Lee and the Black Ties from the left-hand side. It's a good song, man. If you haven't listened to Latasha Lee, get out there and just listen to her mix on YouTube. A bunch of fantastic songs, man. She's got a fantastic voice. She's got some original tunes out there too, and I think you'll enjoy it. Get out there and take a listen. If you have any comments or concerns, or if you want to get involved with anything, you want to give me some information, you can go to craftconversationspod@gmail.com. That's how you can email me, get in touch with me, and let me know what your thoughts are about this whole COVID thing. And by the way, if you're watching this, you're probably watching this on YouTube. So if you're at the Craft Conversations YouTube page, I would appreciate it if you hit that either thumbs up or thumbs down. If you don't like this fucking video, hit a thumbs down. I don't give a shit. But hit one of those buttons, thumbs up, thumbs down. Leave a comment if you would like. I have the comments open. You can leave a comment and let me know what you think about the episode. You can also hit the notification button. That way, whenever I do a video, you'll know about it and you'll get notified and you can listen immediately. And then also subscribe to my channel if you would like. Go to the YouTube Craft Conversations, subscribe, and that way you get all the content that I'm putting out there. I think that YouTube is the best place to consume this podcast. I put a lot of work into the production value. I mean, we're doing new stuff now with the lights. Got 4 different angles going on. I'm hoping to add a couple more angles. I'm going to eventually bring some people into a video chat, which I did the last podcast as a test. So I know that can be done, and that'll be another source of video that will be out there. And it's just going to be good, man. Matter of fact, this was a video that I did. This is something cool that I can do. This is a video that I did the other day to try and test out my lighting, so you can see how much better the lighting has become based on this right here. You know what? Let's do this. I don't even know if you're hearing that. But that's a lighting video. I mean, on that video, I had too much light going on, too much light in my face. I had one of the lights here on the table, and it was just too much right here. Had the other light actually on the edge of the table here, and I just had too much light going on. So now I've got them both pushed back a little bit. I got one up a little higher, one a little lower. And I hope it looks good for you guys. I don't know. I'm trying different things. So if you have any suggestions or anything, just hit me up. craftconversationspod@gmail.com. Give me some feedback, some suggestions. If you go on to any of the platforms that I'm on, which is Podbean, Spotify, iTunes podcast, YouTube, any of those platforms, you can leave a comment and give me some feedback. So I would appreciate it if you would let me know what you think. Also, my Facebook page, which is Craft Conversations, or you can go to my personal Facebook page, which is Brian Dales Sr. Don't get it confused with my other son, my son, Brian Dales. So, yeah, that's all I got, really, guys. I'm just, I'm messing around with this thing. I'm trying to bring you better content. I'm trying to do better things. The next podcast, I'm going to go live with this thing. And probably every podcast after this one, I'm probably going to go live on Facebook. And there's a feature here, actually, on this iPad. There's a feature that I can pull up, and I can pull up some Facebook chat. So it'll load my comments on here. I can actually, I think, I haven't tested it yet. I'm going to test it out here. I'll do a small 5 or 10 minute test on probably the next episode that I do. I'll just go live for 5 or 10 minutes and just announce to everybody that I'm doing a test of the Facebook Live system. But I think what I can do is I can pull up, I can load the comments from the Facebook feed right here on this iPad. I can display those comments onto the screen, I believe, and then I can I can respond to each one of those comments, I think. I'm not sure yet, but hopefully that's going to be the case, and that's going to be fun. I can get interactive with it, and we can talk a little bit. So not only will I get the viewers on the recorded episode, but actually live, we can interact and talk about things. So think about it. Bring your questions to the next episode. I don't know what it's going to be about. This one was mostly about the COVID testing shit show. And some people haven't had the problem with the testing, and that's great. That's fantastic. I hope nobody has to go through what I went through. I went 8 days to get a test and get diagnosed and get results. 8 days went by. So in 8 days, I'm sitting in limbo saying, hey, is my dog getting sick? Hey, am I getting my roommate sick? Hey, should I even go to the store and pick up any groceries? Hey, am I going to get worse? Am I going to get sick? Am I going to get some kind of pneumonia? Am I going to get, so many questions went through my head. I don't know. I didn't know what was going on. And I really wanted some answers, and I didn't get any of those answers until today. And that's just bullshit. You got the Trump guys, they're going to a rally in Tulsa. They're going to a rally in, where else do they go? Phoenix, Arizona. And these guys are getting a test and getting results back immediately. And that's just bullshit, man. That, the more privileged that you are and the more money that you have, the better testing that you're going to get. And I'm not, destitute. I'm not poor. I'm not, I'm a veteran. I've got benefits. I've got insurance, all this kind of stuff. But what about those guys out there that don't? What about the people that have zero insurance? Matter of fact, I didn't even mention this. So my roommate, he's like, well, I need to get tested because I need to get back to work, and I can't go to work because I'm supposed to quarantine because you're maybe sick. And, to be honest with the employers, I got to tell them that you may be sick, you may have the virus, that you're waiting to get tested, and I shouldn't go to work. So he stayed out of work. He hadn't made any money since this whole thing has started. He was supposed to work 3 days this past week and wasn't able to work any of those days because didn't know if he was, maybe had the virus. So he was being responsible. He actually doesn't have insurance, so he called around a few places, and they were like, well, it's going to cost this much, and we can't do this, we can't do that. People were giving him the runaround, so he said, fuck it. He actually went to Amazon, got a test, had it delivered to the house. It got delivered on Wednesday of this week. He did a self-test. He packaged it up, put it back in the package. Thursday, put it in a FedEx drop-off box to be delivered to a lab, wherever the lab is that this thing goes to. And he got the results back on Saturday, said that he was negative. So he did the test himself on Thursday, put it in the mail, got the results back on Saturday, 2 days. I did this whole runaround with 3 different facilities, and it took me 8 days to get a test and get results back. So think about that. I'm a veteran. I've got TRICARE, I've got VA access. It took me 8 days to get my shit done. This dude has 0 insurance, went on Amazon, got a test, fucking mailed it, and got his results back in 2 days. The system is fucked, guys. That's all I'm saying. The system is fucked. The COVID-19 testing is a crock of shit. It's bullshit. All right, guys. I'm out of here. I'm going to... I don't know. I'm going to leave you guys. That's it. That's it, guys. I'll talk to you soon.